is only a tad bit older than I am, at least my whole life, and a little older than that, I hear, as parents go.
Having lied about my age so much that no one really knows what it is.
She's perpetually always 42 years old. For my whole life, actually. 42, and I'm nearly 20. Well, let me pull up, I want to show everyone the book my mom self-published on Amazon and Goodreads. So let me pull up the little split screen now. Oh, look at that. I am a genius. And boop, that is my mama's book. And by the way, I refuse to say the name of my mom. You can look it on the screen. Ann Paget. The Reverend's Other Son. It's a bit of a romance, I believe, you know? It took on self-published Goodreads when COVID hit, you were telling me? 2020.
The graphic making it up.
There was no influenza.
Yeah. He said you shouldn't make up diseases. And I was like, no, that actually happened. And he didn't believe me.
That's insane. He actually didn't believe you?
Yes, and they actually felt that the book would not be successful.
It's not that realistic.
He said it wasn't relatable. And ironically, and I published it, and nothing happened. And then in 2020, it became much more relatable.
Really relatable. Technical brother. I have a very talented family, I have always thought. Well, I have to be this book before. I like had all the bells and whistles attached. That is the work I have done. So everything we're going to be talking about today and probably the next stream, and not really the next stream after that, is work I've already done. And I actually have those very same little things written down. And I also have all these notes written down digitally, because heaven there be a fire, on living writing. So this will be a little bit of a rehab of what I've already gone through, but my mom's never heard of it before, so I'm also going to be telling her what. So I have them all in order. For those of you who aren't aware of what the 27 chapters, let me go to this. The 27 chapters method is very similar to the 3-act method, except for it is broken into 9 parts in each act, and I love it. It's probably my favorite of the structures because I like the hero's journey, but I always felt like that man, you gotta fit a lot into like the singular part, and it just more, so I can really like see step by step rather than floor by floor sort of thing. Oh, our date rate is better. I can see, which is nice. So maybe it just needs. Thing with technology, like it tells you it's not working, and then some. After that, it's like technology is a petulant.
Yes.
I'll work when I want to. Okay. There's 9 different sections in each act. Today, all the way through the first act and halfway through the second act. So we see. I have them pulled up here. We see intro, immediate reaction. If you're familiar with writing, this is probably familiar to you. Inciting instant reaction. This is a pretty common way that stories start. That up to example. The first chapter, when he gets the letter, that sparks the rest of the story and his, student starting career. And then like Percy Jackson again, when he substitute teacher who comes after him, that's like, whoa, something's going on here.
That's kind of like you set up, and then something happens.
Something happens.
That everything on a different path.
Right. But what I want to write is their regular life is not all that regular. And I really want to do an expectation subversion of this. So we'll get into that when I start breaking down through all of them. But let me go through the rest of these. So the second act of the story would be, what's a good example? I guess like act of Hunger Games. Because the first act is like her in the Capitol. And then I think the second act starts when she gets in the games. The third act starts when she reunites with PETA. I believe that's the structure. I could be wrong. But you're seeing on the screen, new world, fun and games, and everyone's like, I don't think the Hunger Games are all that fun. But that
might not be the best example.
She meets Rue, and it's really sweet. You know, you meet people. So this
Dungeons and Dragons follows it very, very closely.
Oh, I love D&D, and my parents know a lot about D&D, considering more than probably your mom. I want the brush.
But in that team is trying to get together and they're learning about each other. They're learning about their skills.
A lot of growth in the first act and second act. It's great. Had the weirdest text thing happen with. Did I tell you about this, Mom?
No.
Oh, so I met this guy, right? Matt. I met this guy and he kept trying to call me. And I don't know if anyone knows a little bit what Gen Z dating culture is like. I don't, that's for sure. Call people, don't call me, text me. Like, I met this guy, a little desperate, but he then calls me like the day after and I don't answer next day. And I'm like, I don't want to talk to you, man. I don't know you. Like, who calls people? Just text. And so he asked me, he's like, are you more of a texter or a caller? And I was like, oh, I'm more of a texter, at least at first. And he was like, yeah, I really don't think you can really get to know a person that well through text. Like, it really hides people's emotions, and it's not good for interpersonal connection. And I was like, okay, I see your point. However, if I wrote you a letter, you would not think the same. Just because texting is common does not mean it's not good, and it just means maybe you're just a bad texter. The power of a written word is good even if there's with emojis. That's the more. He was really annoying. We had a full-on internet debate about it for 2 days. I did not go on a date with him. Anyway.
Okay.
It's a little random. I'm sorry, it was on my mind, but it's like, who doesn't like written word, right? You could put so much emotion behind written word that way. Oh yes, I wanted to share this meme too before we get started. I want to warn everyone that this is likely what I will become, is this, so be prepared. Oh, I forgot that my sound loses itself when I do that. That's a mistake.
My rule on texting is if I have to text you more than 3 times in this conversation, it's too much for me. Just call me at that point.
That's a good point. If you have to constantly try to get them to text you back, then you should just call. But if you're good at texting, both of you, it could be great. All right, I'm gonna split screen. We're gonna go through each act, and I'm gonna remember what I wrote on my little thingies, and I'm gonna hash it out a little bit more because since I've had time to plot these, I've had more ideas. I'm like, ooh, this is what I want to have happened in the happening. So split screen. Sweet. Act 1. Okay. Act 1. Start off, intro. Introduce the hero and their ordinary world. Now, as I spoke of a little bit earlier, I'm going to switch to 2. Also, this new camera image. What do you guys think? You guys can see me writing out my ideas. So lovely. And the top of my head. Please don't judge me. So, cool. Intro. Let's see what I had written down. You guys can see that pretty well. You guys like the blue? I like the blue. I want the pink. Pink is better. Okay. So what I had written down before, I talked a little bit in the first stream about her personality in the beginning versus the end. In the beginning, she's a very cold character. She's very dull, almost. Not dumb dull. She's very smart, actually. She's smart and strategic. But I want to think the word hollow, you know when you meet a hollow person where it's just
she's very guarded.
Yeah, for sure. And that's because she has something in her past that is forcing her to be this way. The arc of the story is that she doesn't know what that is because she cannot remember, because that happens to your brain occasionally.
So she's keeping everybody at distance.
Everybody at distance because she herself feels incredibly unstable. So in this intro, I wrote, meeting Ashley. She's unemotional, traumatized, testy, and cold. We learn these bit of exposition. I might change this, actually. So what we know about her kidnapping so far is that she was kidnapped after an experiment that went wrong and gave her superpowers. She was rescued by Professor Gray, but that's kind of revealed a little later. After it happened, after she was rescued, it had sort of a, it wasn't the same. Like there was a really extreme, like before it and after sort of effect happening. And I really want to signal that in the character. She has electric abilities that I do definitely want to share in this chapter. And she is a part of SABRE, the organization meant to bring peace to the entire world. They're meant to unite countries and meant to basically act as like the unified police for the world. So nobody does anything they're not supposed to. Okay.
So what is the first scene about?
So the first scene, I want it to be like strangely, okay, I'm going to switch back to 2. I want it to be, I have this written down, I wrote cold bath, because I was like, I want this to be like a bird's eye view of her life. So the first thing that happens, I imagine, is like, we almost like wake up into her story of this is her world. So Ashley's introduction, she wakes up in her room. It's like if this was a film, it would be like very dark, very moody. She just kind of like wakes up and it's something like there's no music. It's just like eerily dull. She's going through this thing. And then I want to have details about her room that are not normal, Like you think of your room right now, there's something normal to it. I should probably move to me while I'm talking. There's something like normal about it. Like you have your shoes, your charger, all that stuff. In this, it's like a high-tech room. It's like, it's a part of an agency. Like there's maybe like a lock on the window or something like that. Something weird that's not normal. Like you think it's normal at first and then more details and it's like clearly not normal. So Ashley's introduction in her room. In the second episode of Story Onboarding, we talked about how Saber's field is going to be on an island. Dad found one, actually. We're going to buy it. No. I'll read that right. Anyway, it's going to be on an island. And so this island would have to have... oh, my IT guy. Hi, David. This island would have to have places for agents to stay, and these rooms would be specially made for them, and hers even more so because she has these somewhat unstable superpowers. So things we learn, in her room.
But she's basically living in a fortress.
Basically. A fortress in her mind and a fortress in real. That made me happy. It made my brain happy. I like that. Cold bath. Fortress. So
not only is she in a fortress, she sort of is a fortress.
Yes. So there are strange details. Like high-tech screens, kind of concrete walls, not really decorated. So concrete. Nope, that's a...
Something sort of weird, like a poster.
Yeah, like just hang in there poster. Oh, I'm gone. Oh, I'm back. Oh, I'm a little darker. It's okay. This is matching the mood of the story we're in. It's dark, it's intense, that's why the next character. I do want to note that this room has to be decently big. I would like the idea that it looks like it's meant for 2 people, but she's the only one there.
Ah, I like that.
Concrete, 2-people room. Because later in the story, Ember, I'm bad again. 2-person. I should write this down. Let me switch. Okay, strange details, concrete, 2-person. Generic poster, high tech. It's very strange. And I want there to be no dialogue in this little bit. I want it to be very just like her thoughts, and her thoughts are extremely dull. So I have to add a lot of detail to show very little. And then, so that's like the first little bit that happens. And then there'll be kind of like, this is still the intro, but there's going to be something inciting in this chapter that's going to change it. And so she's going to get a mission briefing or a mission call. So, mission call.
Is that the inciting incident?
See, I don't know if I wrote that. Yeah, I think I did. Okay. So, this is moving on to, let me go to my split screen. So, second one is the inciting incident. A problem disrupts the hero's life that will kick off the rest of the story. Yes, I did write that. That's going to be the mission. So, this is our intro. So it's very cold, very desolate. I don't want to mention, I want to mention her powers in some way.
Allude to them.
Yes. Like, I did think about, like, when she brushes her hair, like, static, like, to an unreasonable level could happen. Because, I don't know, I've always thought about that with electric people powers, because I just have naturally static hair when I brush my hair anyway. Like, if you had electric, like, if an electric eel had hair, right. Like, I never hear that. But I don't want necessarily to mention anything about the kidnapping and stuff like that.
Does she interact with anybody in the beginning?
I don't think so. I think
so it's all her.
All her.
Kind of focusing on the fact that she is very alone.
Yes. Very alone. Very guarded. She's something very strange. Like, this is not a normal person.
Perhaps others are almost fearful of her.
I do actually want that to be an element, is that other agents of Saber do not interact with her because of her reputation that has somewhat been built. Because she didn't go through, like, I imagine there's probably like an academy or a hiring process. She didn't go through any of that. Because when you have superpowers, you get special privilege.
Kind of like in Harry Potter in the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
There's all the focus on the brother, or the other child, and it's almost as if he doesn't exist.
Yeah.
They're trying to, he's got the place under the stairs. And
mm-hmm. Oh, I do want to mention, like, she should have maybe, like, a lot of unopened letters from her parents, because her parents are a little bit...
They're alive, but we're not dealing with them.
Yeah, yeah. And I do want to reiterate, like, she is, like, about 20 years old. So that's how old she is. So generally...
Okay, I thought she was younger.
No, I'm making her older because I feel like that's more realistic.
Okay.
Because as much as I love 14-year-olds saving the world, I remember when I was 14, and I would not do that. I would not be able to do it well. So I'm making her 20 as a little more accurate to real world accuracy.
Easier for casting anyway.
Way easier. I'll just cast my... No, I can cast myself. Yeah, when we eventually make this into a movie. Okay, so that is our intro. Now, let's remember our inciting incident, and I'm going to pull up my notes here. Okay, so it's a problem... disrupts the hero's life that will kick off the rest of the story. The previous chapter, we just wrote that Ashley gets a mission call. Now, this one I titled Mission Goes Terribly Wrong. Ashley means to go on an intel mission, but when tempted with possible information regarding her kidnappers, she instigates a chase, but quickly turns destructive. Ashley gets the information she wanted to, but at great cost. So that's what I wrote. Now that I've had time to, like, think on this since my first time plotting, I have thought more about, like, what I want this mission to be, because I know the end, so I can plan backwards again. Let me take a second to erase this. Ugh, that left a pink stain. That's okay, because I have Expo whiteboard care. Expo whiteboard care. Except I don't have a rag, so it's useless. Okay, so this mission and her kidnappers. I know a little bit more about her kidnapping. She was kidnapped because she had electrical abilities and it was attacked by the same members. By the way, update. Last time I was really struggling to come up with a name for our evil guy organization. I'm okay. She is a rag, but I'm choosing to embrace it. Okay. She had... I had a really hard time coming up with the name, and I was working with my dad about it afterwards, of like, what is like an interweb of connected individuals, because I had this name Gauntlet, but I was going to change Glove to Saber, so I was like, should I change that as well? And then, by the way, the chat can't hear you chew. Okay. My mom has your raffle, and doesn't give me one. But, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, then we looked up words that, like, meant, like, interweb connected, like, organization, and Gauntlet is one of, like, that is a thing. Like, Gauntlet means an interconnected web of...
That was meant to be.
I know. I was like, I'm not going to change anything then. I'm just going to keep it Gauntlet, because I like that name. So, Gauntlet is our villain, our bad guy organization meant to cause destruction and harm. So, they were kidnapped. She was kidnapped by Gauntlet, and Gauntlet is like an interconnected web. So, she's on this intel mission. So, let me switch back to my 2. Let's see, 1.2 is what I'm going to call this. Oh, that's so juicy. Juicy marker.
Better than a dry marker.
Better than a dry marker. So, first thing that happens is Ashley goes on this mission. So I'm gonna kind of like speed through. I don't really want to go through the entire process of her like getting on board it, getting on a plane, going to somewhere. But I do want to make it known that this is normal. Like this is not something, like this is not her first mission by any means. Ashley goes on a routine mission. On a routine mission.
So they're not that excited because it's something like you're always...
I really want to emphasize that this is almost like a day job. Like, it's a very high-stakes day job, but it is still like a job. She's getting paid. But there just happens to be, I don't know, like, I feel like, is this like working for, like, Secret Service, almost? Like, it's still a job, it's just a really important job.
You could be talking about, you know...
my boss sucks. I can't say that because I work for my dad, so... I go home to my mom. I'm like, my dad, my boss is so mean to me. And she's like, tell me about it. I also work with my siblings, so I can't complain about my coworkers either. Anyway.
That's why you have to take it out with them in books.
Taking out on the books. I'm going to have a lot of annoying things. Okay, so Ashley goes on a routine mission. Again, we'll emphasize the what's the word? Not anonymity, but like the weirdness around her. It's like she has a reputation.
Right.
Reputation. Her reputation and the fact that she is a good agent. So this mission goes horribly wrong, but I want to emphasize that it does not go wrong because she's not good at her job. She is strangely good at her job, which is why these things that start rising that throw her off is so detrimental. So good at her job. This is my self-insert.
But it's a very hard job.
It's a very hard job, but she has superpowers that makes it much easier and more realistic. Superpowers and the word realistic in the same sentence. Couldn't be me. Anyway, so she goes on this routine mission. We talked about last time that there were 3 types of missions and all. So there were intel. Let me move to 2.
Perhaps like Sky High. Everybody has, and it's just sort of normal.
Yeah, sort of normal. Yeah.
That you're picked up to the bus with other people who have superpowers.
Fly away. Mm-hmm. Exactly, yeah.
Or what it's like with your parents or superpower heroes, and you're just like, yeah.
Yeah. My parents are superheroes. She didn't hear me. I love you.
At least in your father's case.
Nah, you're cools. Okay, so... there were 3 types of mission. There were intel, protect, and sabotage. Do we have anything from chat, by the way?
We have 4 people in the chat.
We have 4 people in the chat? Guys, drop a like and say hello. I love you guys. Here, I'll even write it down here.
There's a comment about how nice the set is.
Wait, really? Oh, yeah, actually, I should go into that. Because me and my dad went to Hobby Lobby yesterday, and we got all this stuff. So I got like some cute flowers. This is my little writing dragon from my sister Aria. And that's also from my sister Aria. Alright, it's following my face, so let me stand up so it'll follow me. We got that from my sister Aria. It's actually real. Those are real flowers. Those ones are not. And then, what else do I have? I have this cutest little thing. I have this tiny little crochet rose. It's the cutest thing. Are you going to follow my face again?
Nope, now it's found you. Okay. It's back to you again.
The camera tracking is not great for someone very sporadic like me. So, okay, back to what I was talking about. Thank you so much. Thank you to my dad for working on the set. And we also, the other whiteboard is still here. We just moved it over here for more planning behind the scenes sort of things. So, yay. Okay. Awesome. What else happens in this chapter? Because I have like 13 more of these to go through, so I gotta hurry up. Okay, so she goes on a routine mission. It's an intel mission out of the 3 types. And so these ones are the most chill missions. So she is, well, not the, protection's actually the most chill. You think it'd be the other way around, but it's not. So she's undercover, it sounds like. She is not meant to engage, but when she is picking up information about salacious or bad affairs, something reminds her of something. So, What it is still to be determined because I need to flesh out her backstory a little bit more. But, because I know I want it to connect to Conrad Grimm later because they're going to go after him. So I want to know, like, maybe they just say his name and that sparks something in her memory. Because like I said, she does not remember anything. For the whole, like, 3 months, nothing comes back to her because she is traumatized. And a sort of thing your brain does when it experiences pain is sometimes it will just literally forget those memories. So it cannot hurt you anymore, but you're actually still left with the effects of what happened. So you still have the pain, you just have no context.
So she should have conflict between the official mission and her personal mission, which is I want to find out
what's going on. Like, because she can tell that she is a cold person. She's aware. She's aware that she is not like who she was before. Who she is now is someone else. She's acting all these different ways and she doesn't really know why. She's just like, it's maddening. It's like going through life knowing that your arm hurts, but not knowing it was broken, you know?
Right.
It's very strange and it's going to drive her. So intel mission, I'm thinking for now, we're going to say she hears something. What? Oh, you're heading out?
Yeah, the stream's good. I think
the stream is good?
The stream is
Yay!
good. This place was last I checked.
Yes.
Sweet. Awesome.
Thank you, our tech man.
Thank you, Tech Man. It's like Iron Man, but even cooler.
I appreciate it. Love you.
Love you, Davis. Bye. Everybody, 3 claps in the chat for Davis. Mom, can you close the door?
I can.
Or actually, maybe we should keep it open for people to walk in. You can come in. I just feel like I'm going to echo. Yeah, never mind. Actually, it won't close. Anyway. Okay. Intel mission mentions Conrad. Let me go to 2. Mission mentions Conrad.
Would you have like a flashback or something?
Like, I don't like a flashback because that's kind of, I think I just want more of like this sense of familiarity, you know?
Okay. When you just know that has something to do with you.
Yeah, it's like, you know when like you bite into an apple and the taste of it reminds you of a smell of your childhood home? That is sort of the feeling where like this is so interpersonally connected to you, but you can't really quite figure out why. And she knows that means one thing, that this guy had something to do with what happened to her. So mentions Conrad Grimm. When this happens, she breaks protocol and goes after him. And this is when I have to decide if I'm going to really set up the stakes by having maybe this decision could lead to someone getting either really hurt or maybe even die. Because then, like, I want the stakes to be high, but I also don't want it to be like a super nitty gritty, you know? Like, I want to keep, I say lighthearted, but then I also just mentioned like a ton of different sad things. So
I think it's realistic that someone could be hurt, particularly by her powers.
Yeah, that like she could end up hurting someone, but like who? Because like she's gathering intel, presumably to, what's it called? Like gather information from wicked people. So she's on enemy territory. So who can get hurt that's near her that
It can be just
care about?
Just
civilians?
Civilians.
That could work. And then could go back on the agency, because the agency is supposed to be a peacekeeping agency.
Correct.
I like
and
that.
Somebody's been accidentally, shocked.
Electrocuted. Yeah, that's going to hurt. Okay, so breaks protocol and goes after this guy who's mentioned the name. Goes after target. By the way, nobody get after me for my handwriting, okay? I was failed by the system, okay? They tried teaching me cursive and all that stuff. We got halfway through the book where they were just like, guess what? We're not doing this anymore. You're not learning cursive. And I'm like, I can't even write, print well. So I was deeply tragic. But I think I have a cute handwriting. It's a little loopy, just like me. So she goes after target. I'm going to say it gets into civilian territory. Gets into civilian territory. She doesn't stop. because it's her only lead she's had. She
They
finds,
probably do urge her to stop.
Oh yeah, for sure. She definitely has someone in her ear, perhaps Director Fallon, or maybe just like Mission Control or someone. Maybe because I want to.
Yeah, some sort of mission control.
And they're like, what are you doing? Stop it right now. You know, like when you're driving and you pass like the 25 mile per hour, it's like, slow down, you must. I hate those things. Anyway, gets told to stop, she doesn't. I'm gonna say she gets the guy, and this is when I want to show like a little bit her power. She is good. Like she's gonna this guy's in a car, he's racing away. She gets the guy though. She gets the guy and gets a little more information. Ooh, I am really tweaking out. Okay, sorry. The camera was. I'm fine, but I need more caffeine, but I'm fine.
I'm thinking the best inciting incident that I can think of is Indiana Jones.
Oh, you mean like when they steal the thingy? Wait, what? I haven't seen Indiana Jones in a while.
All right, well, never mind then.
No, bring it up.
Well, they go through this exciting scene in the beginning.
Right. They like steal the thing and the guy betrays him, right?
Right, and it sets up that he's got this arch enemy that always gets the better of him. The French guy.
Yeah, the French guy. Oh, everyone needs an arch enemy.
And he comes back, and then they have the meeting, and the government wants him to find the Ark of the Covenant. But they establish in the beginning that he's really cool.
Yeah.
And they establish that he's got powers and stuff, but he doesn't always win.
Yeah. That's kind of the vibe I do want, because I want to establish like that she is already sort of a superhero, an agent, you know?
She's agent, she's good. She usually does what she's supposed to, but she doesn't.
I do want to mention, like, this is her first time breaking protocol. I would say, like, the other time she's the best agent they have, which is, like, it's going to come.
Yeah, that's why they're so surprised.
It's like, It's like, I feel like it's, like, almost Russian roulette. Like, and it's going to be a little bit of a thing where she's going to do a lot more breaking rules things after this, because I do want to, like, emphasize the feeling that she's, like, a ticking time bomb, at least in the eyes of people who don't understand her interpersonal conflict that's happening in her brain. Okay, so she gets the guy. He's gonna tell him a little bit more, maybe like a location or something, like some other information that she can find out. So a location or a person.
Right.
And then I would say maybe this guy also. I think he will be arrested, but he will be out of like the story because he's gonna be taken into custody. Right. And
he's a low level.
Yeah, Saber's gonna also bar her from seeing him because that's not her job. That's
we have other people
the different department does that.
We are a bureaucracy.
But her powers have side effects that affect people. Shocks in a sense. So this happens. That is the inciting incident that is going to spur the rest of the story. So. Then the next one to do is the immediate reaction. Mama, you want to read it?
We want to read the immediate reaction?
Never mind, I got it. You lost your chance. The hero deals with the inciting incident and or the changes that result from the inciting incident. So in our case, I'll read this out. Director Fallon of Saber calls Ashley in for a lecture. She threatens to ground Ashley, but Ashley calls her bluff, saying, I'm your best agent, you're not going to ground me, you know, like, you need me. I want there to be obvious tension between Ashley and the director. Ashley hides the information that she found from the guy, and then Director Fallon proposes a compromise. Okay. There's Director... I wrote this wrong. I'm changing this. Where's the whiteout? Okay. Director Fallon lets her know that they're assigning her a second, and Ashley hates the idea. So this is like the immediate reaction what happens. This is when we get to know two new characters, Director Fallon and also Ember Fry, who is going to be her second. So because of this huge disaster, they realize, like, okay, you're too good, but also too volatile of an asset to just have alone in the field. Like, we're basically assigning you a second and a babysitter, but there's a little bit even more to it than that. So let's talk through all the concepts of this thing. So switching to 1, switching to 2. What color should I do? What does the chat say? Probably nothing. We're doing purple.
Purple. Oh, wait. Someone's calling.
Someone's calling?
Yes,
Is it
dear?
Shia LaBeouf? Okay.
Oh, okay. I'm reading it. I will read the chat.
Did someone just call you to read the chat?
Yeah.
After I just...
Naomi is here.
Wait, it was... What this?
The chat is suggesting Maverick.
Maverick as like her nickname?
No.
Oh, or as like as the movie
in an example of inciting incident when he's sent.
That's
he's
right.
Not kicked out. He's sent back to Top Gun.
That's such a good movie. Yeah, like he breaks the rules. He does the thing. He pushes even farther than that. Goes terribly wrong, but it starts off because he's too good to let go, so they make him go to Top Gun.
Right. Because you were the luckiest
son of a
in the world, and they sent him off to Top Gun. He says, someday you'll get your knuckles. Yes, but not today.
Yes, but not today.
And that's sort of like this too. Like they recognize she's too good, but they can't can't do what they're doing. Mm-hmm. They have to change things.
They're having a compromise. They're setting up this new system that they're assigning her a second. So there's a lot of motivations going to be listed in this. So instead of maybe saying like, because this entire chapter is going to be just a conversation. So I'm right. Let me just do.
Going rogue.
Yeah, it's also kind of the first Top Gun movie because he does the little overhead thing that gets him in trouble and stuff.
Right.
So conversation in Director Fallon's. We're not changing any other places. We're staying in this one setting. Director Fallon's office. Instead of listing like what kind of happens, I'm going to go through the different motivations at play here because there are a lot of them. Because like any good spy movie, there should be a lot of
you should be able to understand everybody's motivation.
Yeah.
Plots fall apart when people are not acting in a manner consistent with their goals and objectives. When you can understand why everybody's doing what they're doing, even if it's doing stupid things, but you understand it, then you get tension and then it makes sense.
Yes, I love it. And also people have more than one motivation. Like people have like short-term motivation.
Right, and when
long-term.
those are really good with plots. Secondary plots is when, what you want A plot is not going to give you B plot.
Yes.
And then you're really screwed up.
So Ashley's first motivation is to her overall is to find out what happened to her. So find the truth.
She has her personal motivation.
Find the truth. Her second motivation is to conceal the fact that she is doing this in this meeting. She doesn't really want Director Fallon to know why she went rogue because she just found out that she's been barred from talking to the witness. She can't get to him anymore. So if she spills more, she doesn't trust Director Fallon to open up the investigation to her. Because Director Fallon, while a good character...
She doesn't totally trust her agency.
No, she does not. Because she doesn't trust anybody. Because
you don't know.
Yeah, and Director Fallon is a woman of secrets. The entire organization, Sabre, is meant to be transparent, but this department is the most secret of them all. I had an idea, by the way. I don't know if I want to make this like into a big series, but we went over like Sabre has the different departments, and I was like, wow, Ashley's like the perfect spokesperson for the Department of Strength. But then you have Ember, who's the perfect embodiment of the Department of Accordance, which is the peacemaking organized department. And I love that because I'm like, oh, I can make a character, an agent that kind of matches each different type department in the overall agency.
And how you need them all.
And then it's marketable!
As I remind myself, always got to write the first book.
Gotta write the first book. All right. Don't think about the sequel. Don't do it. Don't do it. Because unfortunately, I am a plotter, and when I run out of things to plot, or what we were talking about earlier, like there's plotters and there are pantsers. Mom, explain what a pantser is.
Pantsers? I am also a plotter, therefore we are being derogatory toward the pantsers.
Yeah.
The pantsers are people who just sit down. I actually know a fairly famous screenwriter who just sits down and starts writing. I remember being at a party once where he was talking and saying that, I'm writing something new and I think it might be a mystery. And I remember thinking, how can you not know?
Like, what do you mean? What do you mean you think it might be a mystery? Like, you already start, how far are you into?
No, because he just sits down and starts writing. He's the ultimate pantser in that respect.
By the way, pantser refers to flying by the seat of your pants.
Oh, I guess I should define my terms. Yes. Sorry.
We are not that way. I am a plotter. I like to know where I'm going. I like to figure that out. And then I like to sit down because then I have a roadmap.
Some people have referred to them, the difference as being gardeners versus architects.
Yeah.
I think that's Martin. What's his name?
Martin. Why did I say hair?
The J.R. Guy did Game of Thrones.
Guy. Oh, yeah, that guy.
Mm-hmm. The gardeners just plant seeds and see what blooms.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, you're gardening, but it's creating its own self.
Awesome.
Whereas the architect wants a blueprint. Architect wants to know exactly where it happens, has everything written down ahead of time, and has a blueprint for what they're building. Nobody just sits down and says, hey, let's put a window there.
Yeah, that's crazy. Can you imagine? Except for maybe our dad. Our dad just breaks open a wall and puts in a new building.
Well, the advantage of being a pantser is it's very organic.
Yes. Sorry.
Being a gardener. It's organic. The particular friend we were talking about who's the ultimate pantser.
The ultimate pantser just
is very famous for his dialogue.
Yeah.
About how sharp and cutting
I
it is.
do think I am a pantser when it comes to dialogue. I don't plan out my dialogue very well. I prefer to just completely write it on the spot. And I think my thing's pretty good. Okay, bringing it back to the chapter. So I think that the director, kind of what makes her really cool, is that she has a lot of motivations, a lot of secret, ulterior motives. So the first one is rebuke the heck out of Ashley. She needs to know what she did was right. Like, that's her mate. Like, that's what she's doing in that moment. She's about to a Nick Fury moment where.
Yeah.
The second, though, I think her overall is that she is also suspicious of Ashley. And this goes back to why these two have such tension between them. It's because Ashley doesn't really trust anyone at this agency.
The chat wants to point out that our friend who's the pantser that we're deriving has won a Golden Globe and received an Academy Award nomination. And so perhaps we should
maybe pantsers are better.
So perhaps we shouldn't be so condescending.
Pantsers. I'm sorry. How many?
He says there's room for everyone.
There's room for everyone. Okay, well, I'm the plotter, so move aside, pantsers. Okay, how many plotters? I don't know what I'm saying anyway.
I'm sure there are a lot of plotters who have won Academy Awards. We just don't
Shout
happen to
out
know
in the
them.
comments if you're a plotter.
Yes.
Okay, so rebuke the heck out of Ashley. Her second motivation is the one that I'm going to conceal the most to the audience and to Ashley is that Director Fallon is actively suspicious of Ashley because since she can't recall her own past, I would like to think that there are some shady things happening where they don't know if Ashley's guilty of anything she does not remember anymore. And they don't really know that she doesn't remember either. So
amnesia is a little bit, you can't defend yourself.
Yeah. But they don't know that she can't remember. She's hiding it from them. But they don't quite remember. They don't think that
that clearly she doesn't explain things well.
Yeah, and that makes sense why I'd be suspicious of someone. You're not explaining what you did, and they're in the back of their heads because I don't know.
Hitchcock used to do that a lot in his movies. That he'd have a hero or the lead protagonist
Not
guilty of something, but not what people thought he was guilty of.
That's cool.
And so he can't really tell them the truth, but is innocent of whatever they think he's done. So
yes.
It was a plot device he's used a lot.
So this is gonna this arc of her being curious if Ashley has done anything wrongdoing. I think they have a specific investigation. I want to say that there was a murder and they never found the killer, but the strange happenstance of his death is very closely linked to the timeline that Ashley was rescued, and also the way Ashley kills people is he was electrocuted to death. And you know what, like,
right,
they don't
so
think this traumatized child had anything to do with it.
But they don't know that for sure. Yeah.
And Director Fallon takes no mercy.
That people would treat you,
Yeah.
a little bit carefully.
Yeah. And Ashley's going to realize this. She's like, Director Fallon does not like me that much. Don't really know why. I'm going to think.
So she has a cloud over her.
She does. But then her other motivation is that she has this new agent, this new pupil named Ember Fry. And Ember has no training, physical training. All of Ember's training is going to be psychologically based and intellectually based. She's not like a fighter. And
so she's not a field agent.
yes, and Ashley is the ultimate field agent. So she's signing her to her second to one, keep Ashley in check, and also Ember's secret motivation is that she's actually investigating Ashley the whole time. Like, I'm so excited to do this. Ember's perspective is so fun because she's just a body language expert. I thought about more about this. And she's meant to, like, they're the perfect vice to each other because Ember is meant to dig these secrets out of people without even realizing it. Oh, it's so good. The image of, like, who Ember is at first is just, like, kind of like this kind of girl who's in over her head, who's just kind of been assigned, who has these powers by chance, because Ember has fire powers, kind of akin to how Ashley has electric abilities. And also, if you're going to train someone with fire abilities, you need to... The only person who would have any idea how to do that is the other person in the world who has powers that we know of. So, I have some sticky thing on my dick. So...
It's a little bit like Lethal Weapon, a movie you've probably never seen.
Nope, never seen.
But one policeman is really good, but he's grief-stricken by the death of his wife, which he blames himself for.
Aww.
And he will just do crazy things, jump out of windows to stop crime and stuff. And so they take this older detective who's close to retirement and make him his partner.
Exactly. To balance the two of each other. That is directly Director Fallon's line of thinking, is like, okay.
I'm going to take this very analytical, always play it safe person who works in the, is the book person, and put them with the field agent.
Except for, I want to really state that Ember's personality is not like book nerd person. In fact, Ember's personality is a very like social butterfly, like everybody like. Think, has anyone seen Psych? It's very Sean Spencer.
I love Psych.
Yeah, we love Psych. Oh, I love Psych. She's very Sean Spencer-like, where she seems really dumb and just kind of like there for fun, kind of just like this funny guy. And then you realize that they're shockingly intelligent to a creepy way. Like I love. So I don't know if I got permission to share this from my friend, but I have a best friend, right? And I did not. A lot of Ember's personality is somewhat based on things I've seen her do because she's very funny. But she did this once where we went bowling.
She might be in the chat.
She might be in the chat. Hi, say hi. But she did this once where we went bowling and she goes up to the counter and she's like, "Hi, Adam," and this guy's like, "Oh, do we know each other?" And she's like, "I come here all the time. Like, I said hi to you, like, each time. I'm just really good with names." And she goes all these things about how much she comes here. It's like, "Adam, come on." She, like, punches him on the shoulder. And by the end, this guy could clearly, like, "Oh, yeah, I do know this person. Like, it's great. Like, we're hanging out. Like, it's so fun. We're making jokes." And I'm like, wow, cool. Like, my friend's such a cool social butterfly. She knows so many people everywhere she goes. And then we get into the car, and she turns to me, and she's like, "I have no idea who that guy was."
You had a name tag. Could say that.
He had a name tag, literally. But I didn't think this was actually possible because Sean Spencer does that in the show where he'll just kind of walk up with as much confidence as possible and just make himself known somewhere, and it works, and people totally hang off his every word, like believe him. And I didn't think that was a thing people could actually do in real life, but she literally did it so casually. Like, I was so fooled. It was kind of the coolest thing ever. Anyway. But that's the vibe of Ember, is that she's meant to be kind of like make people comfortable because she's so funny, she's so blasé.
So getting back to our 27
chapter method.
The inciting incident is the mission that goes wrong.
Yeah.
And the cure.
The cure
is they've decided she has to have a balancing partner.
Yes. And from Ashley's perspective, this is like, okay, they're assigning me this newbie to just basically slow me down and to keep me in check. Someone I can't just run off
I babysit.
From. Yeah, basically. They're assigning me someone I babysit.
So she's resentful.
She is. She doesn't like Ember. She does not like that this is
She's
happening.
even met her and doesn't like her.
And actually, I have this plan where I want Director Fallon to show her a folder. I'm like, this is how Ember got her powers. I'm planning it was going to be like a total axe freak thing. Like she shocked herself with an outlet and now she has superpower. Like something really casual. And it's like, so we're assigning her to you because you have powers and you're the only person who can help train her. By the way, let me show the thing before I erase it. These are the motivations. But what they don't know is that there is this ongoing what Ashley doesn't know is there's ongoing investigation on her that is being led by Ember, and she does not realize that. So moving on, because we're taking so much time, we're having so much fun. I definitely need to stream through more of these. We might have to make this a little bit larger part of the series if this is going to take this long. But you know what? I love this part of it. Okay, so split screen. We got the reaction 1.4. So long-term reaction. The reader begins to understand just how the inciting incident will affect the hero's life. So I wrote, Ashley begins to solve her, wait, no, yes, this is the right one. Wait, is it? Yeah, it is. Ashley begins to solve her two problems. One, avoid and ignore her assigned teammate until she requests a transfer.
Yeah, that's a good plan.
Two, borrow a computer from the process. Oh, see, I wrote this. Okay. Remember the information she gets from the guy? She's gonna steal a hard drive off of him and not report it. So she borrows a computer from processing to see what's on the drive. Because she doesn't trust the director to let her go after her kidnappers herself, she commits to doing it in secret. Plan 1 is immediately thwarted by Ember's energetic insistence. So she meets Ember, and immediately it's just like the social butterfly is like really excited. And she's like, "What's up? We're gonna be besties. Actually, we're roommates," and they're gonna be assigned roommates. So second is to refer that they are literally going to do everything. They're basically missionaries. I don't know if you guys remember the Mormon church, but if you've been on a mission, you're kind of know. Like the only time you're alone is when you're showering. So that's kind of what this is going to be. So it's going to be a scream. I'm not going to write this one out. Basically just a series of Ashley trying to do her secret investigation, but Ember's always there and she can't get away from her. So moving on to 1.5. So Ashley's also supposed to train Ember, but since she's avoiding her, she's not really doing it. Nevertheless, Director Fallon, not to be deterred, assigns the girls to a low-level stake mission anyway. Ashley, so let me read this. The hero decides to act and make a decision that will impact the rest of the story. So Ashley is shocked to find, what? I don't remember any of this. Ember begins, she investigates and stage. Ember begins her trading. I don't think this is in the right order. Okay, so I'll find whatever one it was later. Okay, well, Director Fallon assigns them to is the chat saying anything?
The chat is saying, we're still people arguing about pantsing versus plotting. Sorry. There are strong opinions on all sides, okay?
Hey, you're totally fine if you're a pantser. In fact, I feel like everybody should do a little bit of both methods to get better, you know?
Brandon Sanderson says the only difference is if you're is whether or not you want to have to do, if you're a plotter, you do a lot of the work ahead of time. Working it out.
Yeah.
And if you're a pantser, you have to do a lot of time afterward, after the first draft, fixing things.
Yes. Which is...
So it's the amount of work he says doesn't change. It's just, do you want to do it in the front or do you want to do it on the back end?
Yeah, exactly. And it's really annoying.
I have worked with some pantsers who, when they write the first movie, the first book, they struggle to how to end it.
Yeah.
And then they have to go back and really X out and rewrite things to make it work. Because they didn't know where they were going.
But sometimes not knowing where you're going leads you to the coolest places.
This is true.
So back to this part. I can't find my notes about it, so I must have misplaced it. But I know what's going to happen anyway. Director Fallon assigns him to go on a low-level stake mission. So Ashley, I'm going to get those two confused the whole time. Ashley, not wanting to go on a mission with this babysat nerd, she, since they're roommates, she will sabotage and she's going to lock Ember in her room, basically, and then tell the mission control, yeah, she wasn't feeling good, might as well just go, I think I can handle it. because she is not
trying to ditch her, basically.
Yeah, basically ditching her. It's kind of a jerk move. Like, she's not doing the nice thing. And so she's going to go on this mission, only to find out that this low-stakes mission, their intel was wrong. This mission is actually quite high stakes because Gauntlet, it's a protection detail. So her whole job is to protect this person. Gauntlet is going to get involved suddenly and is going to send armament after them. And it's going to evolve into this fight that Ashley, in all of her skills, is unmatched for. She really could have used some backup, which is the irony portion. And so a lot of things are going to happen. This chapter is going to be a little bit chaotic, and a little
Milwaukee is not a word.
I will make it a word. I'm making it up as I'm going. Oh, my program, it's glitching. So 1, ditches. 2, she's going to go on mission, protect. 3, an assassin named Armament comes after. And this is very important. This is the first time she's meeting Armament. She's going to have that feeling again. Like, oh, I know this person. But so much stronger. Like, to the point where, like, I know this person. Yeah. You guys know, like, Puss in Boots? You know, when, like, death is introduced and it's this feeling of, like, dread and, like, completely, like, this is a demon. That is the vibe I want Armament to have. Like, larger than life, larger than death, almost, sort of thing. Like, he is literally a demon in Ashley's mind. So, because of this, she's kind of freaked out, too. Because she's so familiar with this guy. So, they start fighting. Ashley's outmatched. I'm getting texts. Who am I getting texts from? Never mind. Ashley starts to lose. And when Ashley starts to lose, in the nick of time, Ember is going to appear. And when Ember appears, Ember is gonna, like, not very well, but more of just, like, the added distraction of being there saves the day, you know? Like, it gives her just the leg up to be able to get Armament to back off, and he's gonna run away.
Because he didn't see it coming.
Yeah. So Ember saves the day. So she came late, but she did get there just in time. So, which also alludes a little bit more of like, oh, how did Ember get out if she's so incompetent? It's because she's better connected than we think.
Better than you think she is.
And so then we have the next...
The Sean Spencer thing.
The Sean Spencer, yes. So, split screen. Then we have the direct consequence. This is when I want to have... I have, like, some moments fleshed out in my brain. This is one moment I have. I have this thing where they're huffing and puffing. They're like, oh my god, thanks that you came and saved me. Oh my gosh. And she's going to turn to it and Ember's going to punch her in the face. Because it's like Ember's been so nice and like so friendly this whole time. And then she ditched her. And I'm like, okay, I'm not that nice anymore. That's not working. So I'm going to punch you in the face. I showed my dad this video of like people slapping each other. It's really funny. So that sort of vibe. So they're going to, Ember's going to fight her. Not like fight her. She's going to do the one punch, and then she's going to argue with her like, hey, how was that easy mission? You didn't need me for it. Like, and kind of like really rip her a new one. And Ember is going to like point out like, hey, this is my deal. And this is when we learn Ember's motivation. Like, hey, I need to learn how to use these abilities. I can't be around fire anymore. And this is when like the two of them are going to have like a relating moment because there's going to be like physically hindrances to having, there are downsides to having these powers. If you're a walking electrical beam, you sometimes can't go around things because they'll go on the fritz. Like technology sucks for you a little bit. If you
can't just go to the movies,
can't just go to the movies so much anymore. If you're well, some movies like the recorder tape movies.
No,
that maybe not that one, but other things. Can't be on Zoom.
Right.
But if you have fire powers and fire acts weirdly around you, you can't have candles on anymore. You're literally a walking fire hazard. You can't go to barbecues. You can't do these things. Like you become a public safety hazard. And Ember doesn't know how to control her abilities, so she just can't be around fire at all.
So that gives them something to relate to.
Yeah. Where Ember's like, hey, my motivation that Ashley is going to be made aware of is I want to learn how to use these powers. I'm going to be an agent. Like, this is my job. This is my career.
Right.
I need you to help me and all this stuff. So this is going to make Ashley cave a little bit. And Ashley has to resign to the fact that, like, okay, yeah, she is my second. I'm not getting out of this. We're teammates now. So it's a great bonding moment. But also, I guess she's still, like, happy about it. So then we're moving on to pressure, 1.7. Now that Ashley's content with having a teammate, one that maybe, because she saved her life, she kind of trust, Ashley is going to use her help to get the information off of the hard drive off, because Ember is decently connected, more sociable. And this is also when I want that thing to come back where, like, oh, Ashley's kind of like a moody outcast on the island, while Ember is this social butterfly who kind of knows everybody. So I wrote this. Ashley is shocked to find an ally in Ember who helps her break a computer out without it being logged. Ashley begrudgingly lets Ember in on her secret investigation in exchange for Ashley to actually assist in training her. Ashley agrees, and they discover a trail of shipments linked to human trafficking, tracing back to when Ashley was kidnapped. So they have a connection. Can you text Dad? I think the camera 2 thing fell off. We might have lost our second camera. That's okay.
Okay.
Just let him know that it is not working. So. Sweet. So now they're working together, basically, on this thing. Ashley's still keeping some information from her. Ashley's not going to say, like, oh, yes, I was kidnapped, and this is why I need to know this stuff. She's like, no, I have a lead, and I'm following it on my own. And Ember's going to be like, okay, I will help you, because I'd rather you just not bring me along. So they're going to start working and they discover this thing. So pinch 1.8. Things get a little more complicated and the hero wonders if the right decision was made. See action. A plot twist happens. So, Ember scattered. What did I write? Armaments. I'm gonna kind of go off of what I wrote before. I think what I would like to have happen here is they know about these trails of shipments. They know about that. I think maybe I'd want them to go follow it. I think so. But how I want that to happen, because they're on this island.
Seems like that would be a logical.
Like next step conclusion. But they're on this island, so how are they going to get to where they're trying to go?
Are they prisoners on the island? Do they get time off?
They do. No, they get off, but it's like, security reasons. Oh, hey, I found the right one. Yes.
We have to go.
We have to go shopping?
No, wait, that's.
Oh, we have to go. I like that, actually. So I have a scene later when they're gonna go shopping. So.
What? They're girls.
Girl stuff. Yeah. We're gonna go bond. Like, I could
could pretend that she's insisting they go on a bonding trip.
Let's go on a bonding trip.
Let's go to the zoo or something.
Yeah, something like that. I'll figure it out later. I'll let people comment in the chat ideas to get them off the planet, off the thing. But they're going to leave the island and go investigate some of these things. So they're going to go investigate. And they're going to discover a little bit more. I think. I can't move the camera, so.
We're experiencing technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties. Hey, Mom, can you plug my computer in?
That I can do.
Thank you.
I have not a lot of technical skills, but plugging things in.
That I hope. That one, just don't unplug anything. So they're gonna leave the island. This is when I want them to meet Conrad Grimm. So they're gonna follow these trails of shipments. They're gonna find that like a matrix, they all connect to what she was investigating or what the intel was from. I don't know if like I don't know if they're like superpower people or something. Why am I so blurry? Are you sure you didn't unplug anything?
I didn't unplug it.
Oh, it's just auto-focusing. Oh. And we're almost back. Okay, there we go. I'm sorry, I blamed you. This was not your fault. It was technology's fault. Okay, so they go find this hub. They meet Unplug anything?
I didn't unplug anything. I thought about...
Is all plugged in? Or can you call Dad? For helping me do this stream. The streaming world is very difficult, and I'm very lucky to have my tutors. So, sort of, you know, if you want to learn how to do something, but you don't necessarily think, but if you also just have a great musical idea, you should also come here and do it. Shoot your shot. So, I mean, this also gives me time to think, even though camera might be dying. Don't know how that could happen. But, so yeah, this is so sad. Davis just leaves and everything is sad. I would call him, but my phone is attached to the camera, so I cannot take it. But luckily, I mean, we only have 15 minutes planned of scheduled stream, so if we have to end here, it is not the end of the world. I would be very sad. I did not get nearly as far as I thought it would today. I thought I was going to get way farther, but this is clearly just too much work to plot out. I guess architects, you know, like, take some time. I've even, like, done some of this work before, and it's still very difficult. So, I got mentioned by Hive Collaborative. So nice of them. I love them so much. Because they're my family. I'm a, you know, contracted to at birth. So they leave the island to go investigate by going to either shopping or sort of a thing. So they find this hub. And I think this is also, like, I love a moment where Ember's, like, not really sure if Ashley's actually telling if, like, Ashley's not crazy. Like, I'd like this sort of thing to be, like, sure, you're not just, you know, shooting your shot for no reason. And it's more of this thing where Ashley's like, no, this is a real thing. Like, this is I'm onto something. And Amber's like, oh, okay, you're actually onto something. So they meet Conrad Grimm, who's going to taunt them. Maybe they get captured. Because the next thing that happens in the things get a little more complicated. Oh, that could be the plot twist. Did you find out?
I did not.
Uh-oh, she's not here. Why did he leave us? Oh, he's on the other side, eh?
Could be.
Watching the show, is he? How? Captured. And then capturing, there's going to be a little bit of execution of our villain, but that might be the next. And then the next little bit to happen is, pushed. Is pushed in a new thing. Screen. Heroes push in a new direction. So they get captured in Pinch before, and then there's this little bit of, like, exposition of this villain. It's like, oh, look, you caught me. My name's Conrad Grimm, and I am the worst. And also, here's Armament, my cool bodyguard guy, who's an assassin. Terrible, and you can't prove that you saw it because we're gonna erase everything. Like, this is Gauntlet. Like, in a good way. We're actually gonna kill you in 3 minutes. All this stuff. Classic evils. There's, you know. And
every Bond villain ever.
Every Bond villain ever, yes. And then, so the capture, there's this exposition. I think probably in this chapter, I think I want to be trapped, you know, really classic, like, oh, I'm trapped in somewhere and I have to escape to not die. And I want to have why they would do something like that. I like the idea that they're trapped in water. Ashley can't use her abilities if they're soaked in water.
It seems like water would be bad for both of theirs, fire and electricity.
Yeah. Now everyone was safe until the water tribe. Okay, so they're in the trap of water. Now, we are doing this trap is maybe because they're the thing flashed. Anyway, no one's supposed to know who they are. Like, they're supposed to leave no trace. Like, nobody should know about them. So they obviously have to die. And then, so they're flooding the building. So they're just gonna, and under like really deep ocean. So the thing is, they get out.
My villains are often hidden because I don't know how to bring them out.
Yeah.
How to make them very villainous.
That's real, because I feel like we're always so pitched to do, like, all along thing. I don't want to do that. I want to impact the race. We always, like, have to be a moral villain. We're like, they're really just misunderstood. I'm like, no, they kill children.
Want to be bad.
This guy is bad. This
chosen bad.
Yeah. No dark past. This guy's just the worst.
Right.
But then you have Armament, and Armament is my interesting, like, more to him bad. Yeah.
He's got the more depth to him than the big bad.
Because I'm going to kill him. So.
All right.
This place, Ember, I was talking to the camera, to the audience, I should say, but the camera. That Ember didn't really believe Ashley's claims that like there's like this conspiracy. It was a little bit like are you actually? Because in her mind, she's also investigating this person for signs of. Is this person actually just crazy? And then no, not crazy. She's actually onto something. So they're going to be like both of them newly motivated to aware of who this entity is that is connected to her kidnapping and is someone they can't prove to Saber exists. So
they're truly a team.
Truly a team now, yes. Every step brings them our bonds are stronger than say it.
Our bonds are stronger than our pain.
Yes, thanks, Mom. Okay. I think it's a really pretty theme. Anyway.
I like to think that since I have a lot of pain.
Yeah.
That's good.
So that's all of Act 1. So Act 1 is them becoming a team, them knowing who their villains are, and them being sent on this mission to take them down.
Well, I'm very excited.
Yeah?
For the next episode when you tell us
about
that you wrote exactly that and it didn't get off at all.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Which
I'm pretty sure I went off from what I'd previously wrote in my plotting notes already. So I'm an architect with a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Because
well, occasionally you'll just have a character that takes over.
Yeah.
I remember
Ember's changed a lot. Like so distinct and have a very specific voice and story. Ember's changed a lot, though. I used to make her like this sort of person who's like super insecure about herself and is like, this is a journey to figure out that she is capable. Where now I'm starting the story is like, no, she knows she's capable. She wants everyone else to think she's incapable. Like it's all a game of chess, which I think is really fun.
I actually like that.
Yeah.
That's a little bit...
if anyone's ever acted dumb to save face, this should be
I'm
really
thinking
cool.
of...
Like, kind of
and she gets people to confess to her. They think they're interrogating her.
Yeah.
They had to take it a little further so they could see
Zendaya.
Yeah.
Well, you have to get Zendaya into your movie. They have to get
so
her
they could
Shrek
say she
5.
was in the
I don't know
first
if anyone's
one.
seen that. Have you seen the Shrek 5 trailer?
No.
Don't do it.
I didn't even know there was going to be a Shrek 5.
Did you know that Zendaya was playing Shrek's daughter?
You're making that.
No, I'm being completely honest. I thought it was fake.
That sounds like something.
They changed the animation too. It's
Really?
bad. It's not good.
Why would they change it?
I don't know if anyone else thinks it's good. If you think it's good, good for you. I'm glad you can enjoy it. I don't think it's good. They make him look like... I'll show you after this. It's not great.
Right.
But
that was a series that didn't really need another movie.
this is a plot of quit when you're ahead, okay? If anybody starts telling me that my writing like is literally getting nowhere, please let me know and I will switch stories to something else. You know, if I continue this series past like 5+ years.
Now that we could have an entire thing on because I know people who have started 30 books, any of them. And so I am very against that. I think you should stuck on one book, you can go right on the other one.
Right on the other.
And sometimes that helps you get unstuck.
In the other one, which is good. Maybe one of these days I'll have like people don't actually like writers don't actually always choose their titles. Sometimes it's actually their publishers and their thinks they know what'll sell. And I'm like, part of me is like, no, I need the control. I'm gonna self-publish anyway. But also part of me is like, I also need ideas because I don't know.
There are many philosophers title your book.
But I don't need to ask a publisher.
But you just need a working title in the beginning.
Yeah, Age of the Saber is our working title.
And sometimes when you look back, you can find a title.
Yeah, which will be fun. Maybe I'll just name the theme our bonds. I realize that the theme is kind of a pun on James Bond. I did not do that on purpose, but I'm willing to embrace it. All right, final thoughts, Mom. What do you got?
Really enjoyed it.
You really enjoyed it?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
We need to do this again.
We will next week, Friday, 3:30.
And we can
subscribe and like.
Apparently, the pantsing versus.
Apparently, that was a heated debate.
Yes, there are strong opinions out there.